Drone Champions League is the World Championship for professional drone racing teams, and we've toured the world since 2016, turning amazing locations into real life and virtual drone racing experiences. And Split 1, our first part of our 2024 season, took place with a finale at the incredible location of Abu Dhabi. With representatives of all of our 7 professional teams live on a stage, surrounded by the visitors to the DriftX and A2RL events, the racing that had happened throughout Split 1 culminated with some great battles and some showcases. This is our big drone, the world's only aerobatic human-sized drone. And after some demonstrations of that, and we've been so pleased to see that back in the air after so long, it was time to get into the main events. With the A2RL, the Abu Dhabi Autonomous Racing League, we were delighted to have our Split 1 finals live at the Yas Marina Formula 1 circuit. And the teams in the grand final, SDT, Spain drone team, who've never been in a final in all their years at a DCL, and Cyclone Racing, who've only had 1 year in the DCL but are now the champions of Split 1. SDT second, Raiden Racing coming in third. And then we went on to the Yas Marina Formula 1 track for a return to real-life drone racing, with our 6 teams flying up and down the home straight of this incredible location, in front of thousands of spectators and some VIPs who even helped to get drones out of nets. The racing was brilliant, the pilots amazing, and the winners were the China Dragons! Then we returned to the track with what we were now affectionately calling Big D. This big drone, flown by Mirko Zezena, the only one of its kind in the world doing acrobatic stunts, a human-sized drone in Abu Dhabi. We are the Drone Champions League, and that's just the start of 2024. What an incredible series Split 1 was, and the finals at the Yas Marina Formula 1 circuit were a memory to be treasured. Now we go for Split 2. Welcome back to the Drone Champions League. I'm Matt Andrews. Here are our 7 professional racing teams who are all looking for the title points. We'll be bringing you 7 race days of action before we get to the Split 2 finals. The top 6 of the 7 teams are the ones who are going to battle there. The top 4 of those battle each other in the knockout round. 5th and 6th place start off in the elimination zone. The difference is the teams in the top 4 places, they've got 2 lives. The elimination zone, if you're in there, you get eliminated as soon as you lose a race. That's all coming up at the end of Split 2. We've got a lot of action to get there first. The matches we're going to present to you today, 2v2 in the first and second races, and then all 4 pilots from each team race each other in the DCL Big Heat, and the winner of any of those races gains 4 points for their team. You get 3 for second, 2 for third, 1 point for coming in fourth, even in the Big Heat, when yes, there are all 8 pilots. The total scores get added up across the 3 races. The winner gets 3 points for the season. It's 1 point if there's a draw. You don't want to get 0. Who's going to kick things off? Well, for Split 2, we see Quad Force 1 bringing in AK Drones, Leviathan, QT FPV, and Hyper FPV. The American team were disappointed with Split 1. Their first battle of Split 2 is against the former world champions of Raiden Racing, Vincent Mayans, Valprim, Yuki, and their new pilot Batu. They were third at the end of Split 1. The winners were this team, Cyclone Racing. They only joined the DCL in 2023, but together the Ice Cheetah, Yayu, J-Box and Fluorescent, now racing as Neon, managed to win the title. China Dragons have been improving in recent seasons too. Zapita, Gabri Prince, their new pilot Hosu and Ion FPV are the challengers against Raiden in our second matchup. And the track we're going to fly around is brand new, a location we know well, but an orientation we don't. This is Lake Zurich, and a track we call Panoramic. These are corkscrews. We've got 6 gates, so you do 5 corkscrews between them. Come out of the 5th and into a split S. That's where you go through the top and back through the second. And then there's a hard 180 turn and another corkscrew. Here is a couple of hard 180 turns, and we call that a ladder, where you fly in a 360 degree turn while going up. Over the boathouse of Lake Zurich into these goalposts. Another couple of 180 turns, then another 2 180s as we go through the slalom, down to 6 arches, towards Rapperswil Castle, which we know so well from our World Championship there in 2018 and many virtual races. We weave under some hurdles and there are 3 laps to race. So let's get Split 2 into the sky. Our first matchup will be Quad Force 1 against Raiden Racing. Visem Mayans will be the only pilot in yellow as Batu couldn't join for this race. So that's a tricky start for Raiden Racing, and it's AK Drones and QT FPV who want to capitalise on it in blue for the American team. Very tight through all of these corkscrews at the beginning. Vincent just leading the 2 American pilots away from that, but QT FPV is alongside him. It's very tight between those 2. Now we head out towards the boathouse, weaving our ways as we head our way back across the land. QT in second, Mayan out in the lead at the moment. He's the first one to get back into the central spine and down through that tunnel. And here he is making his way over Rapperswil Castle, still in the lead. QT in second, AK Drones not too far behind him, and that's 1 lap for Split 2 done. Back down to the water, Mayan leading them all there into these corkscrews. QT a little bit deep on the second one, but he's okay. His teammate still behind him. Raiden still in front of him. Splitters from him is good, and the twitch, yeah, it's not too bad. Making his way through the 180s, out in front still, Mayan over the water, now over the land. Through the goalposts and back towards the spine. And in second place behind him still QT. Oh, a bit close to that. Out of the arches and following Mayan towards the castle. His teammate not far behind him, AK Drones in third, QT in second. There's Mayan with plenty of free space as he heads down towards the water again. He's on to lap number 3. You can see QT and AK Drones are in a real battle between them, but QT's out across the water. AK Drones passed him. I think QT has splashed it into Lake Zurich. It'll recover from there. He'll respawn from there. But Mayan was already a good amount of time away from him and his American teammate, and is just further ahead still. He's back onto the spine. Third lap, now heading up to the castle for the last time here. The chase is on for AK Drones, but he's a long way behind as he goes through the dive gate. It's good flying from him, but Mayan's is already in the finish. First win, first race. It's Mayan and Raiden Racing for Split 2. AK Drones in second. QT FPV bounced off the finish gates, but did get it in there eventually. Vicen will be pleased not just getting Raiden off to their first win in Split 2, but also, of course, with the absence of his teammate, it was really important that he got as many points out of this as he could. They'll take the 4, but of course, Quad Force 1, coming in second and third, will get 5 points from that first matchup. Nice and clean flying from Vicen all the way through. Good work from AK Drones staying in the battle. Now Leviathan and Hyper will come up against Valprim and Yuki. Now, Hyper, we haven't seen so much of him at the end of Split 1. Oh, no, the castle's seen too much of him. He's straight into the first wall. Oh, terrible start for Hyper. Valprim leading everybody else out. We're on board with Yuki here, his Raiden Racing teammate from Japan, as they head now towards the boathouse. Leviathan and Hyper behind them. Currently, first and second is both belonging to Raiden. This is Valprim's view. There he is now, down the spine. And Quad Force 1 had that advantage of an extra pilot in the first matchup. They don't now, so we've got to get the points if we're cheering on the American team. Valprim goes on to lap number 2. Yuki behind him. Oh, that's narrow. I like that between the tree and the pylon. That's very tidy flying from Yuki, who's passed Valprim, as Valprim had a little bit of a bump off of one of the gates. Still in the strong scoring positions, though. Yuki, his teammate, now in the lead. Valprim, as you see, recovered quickly in the chase, in second place. Now towards the land, through the ring and the goalposts. Valprim so close to Yuki, gaining on him. Not quite taking him on the entrance into the tunnel. It's still Yuki in the lead here. They'll go through the dive gate. Valprim's gone past him. There he is. It's still a 1-2 for Raiden. Leviathan's crashed into the castle. Come to a dead stop. That sends Hyper up into third. Now Valprim here, hugging the corkscrew. Look how good this is. That's absolutely phenomenal from him. He's a bit wide, heading to the next obstacle, though. He's hit it. He's gone through. He's still in the lead. Oh, that calls such good work. And the corkscrew nearly completely ruined by the obstacle after it. And Hyper is on the chase. He's got past Yuki. This is Hyper in second behind Valprim, now into the tunnel for the last time. Hyper surely, from going in second, going down to the back. He can't get all the way up to the lead, can he? Hyper around the castle, chasing Valprim into second place. Then Yuki in third. And Leviathan will limp his way home. Bringing home their American skinned drones here. Oh, nice and tight to that flag around the top. Not losing his nerve then, but it is fourth place for Levi. His teammate Hyper with a very important second and the extra point that comes with it. Valprim ahead of all of them. Hyper only 2/10 behind Valprim at the end, 2 seconds ahead of Yuki. So as every drone racer knows, you never give up. Anything can happen ahead of you. Hyper, for example, into that wall on the first turn, ended up in second place. Valprim wasn't clean all the way through, but he was very quick. So Quad Force 1 bring all 4 of their pilots, and so do Raiden Racing for Split 2's first big heat. Batu is here for the team in yellow, so all 8 pilots into the race. Batu's having some early problems, so he's a long way behind the other 7 who are all into the corkscrews. Nice and tight, Valprim, Hyper, Yuki going towards the water, Yuki! Oh, swinging far from the racing line. Oh no, Yuki out of the battling for now. We're on board with Vincent Mayan, who's got Hyper just moving past him, underneath him, around him, and trying to take second. Valprim out in the lead, Hyper in second, Mayan in third, and then we've got AK Drones in fourth and Leviathans in fifth for Quad Force 1 as we come towards the ends now of lap number 1. Valprim just stretching a little bit away from Hyper into the corkscrew. It's good work. This is nice flying from Hyper. He hangs on to that second. Mayan just slips a little bit further behind him. Valprim, no problems between the corkscrew and the second set of obstacles like he had at the end of the last race. All good for him, and he's cleanly away now. Mayan's in second. Hyper still rattling around him. Mayan's bumping off the goalpost, and that's letting Hyper catch up and try and get past him into the tunnel. Valprim cleanly out in front, doesn't realise how chaotic it's getting behind him for second and third. Nice and tidy flying as he goes down onto lap number 3. Mayan and Hyper chasing for those 3 points behind him, really tight to each other. They're so close they can't see each other, but Mayan will see Hyper now as he exits the corkscrew, goes into the split test, completes the obstacle. Valprim bounces off the one after it. Another bump for him in the 3rd lap of a race, but also again, he's got such a good lead. He's still out in first place, but Hyper's going all the way to the back. He's still out over the water. I don't know if maybe he missed part of the corkscrew. It looks almost like he's had to go back and repeat part of an earlier gate, which means Valprim's first. Vincent Mayan is his teammate in second, and third, it's not Hyper, it's another Raiden pilot. AK Drones is the fastest at Quad Force 1. He comes in 4th. He gets the 1 point for the American team. Levi and QT are already there. Hyper is 7th. And the new pilot for Raiden, Batu, is going to come in 8th place now. What a battle throughout, but Hyper from second place ends up with AK Drones being the only one to score for Quad Force 1. Another really strong showing for young Valprim of Raiden Racing. Everybody into that corkscrew so well, but the 3rd lap of it, Hyper had to go back and refly something. Must have missed part of the turns. Anyway, the first Split 1 win. It's Raiden Racing over Quad Force 1. Long-term rivals, 19 points for the team in yellow from Japan. Quad Force 1 are going to be the losers of that matchup. So let's see what happens when the Split 1 champion Cyclone Racing take on China Dragons with the Ice Cheetah and Yayu against Ion and one of their new pilots, Hosu FPV. Away we go around the castle. Hosu flying down towards the corkscrew, bumps off the first gate. Ion hits the second one. Hosu has to swing a very long way around to find his way into the second part of the corkscrew. That's both the China Dragons pilots having bumps early on. Of course, that means that both of the Cyclone pilots are away. Here's Yayu through the rings and the goalpost in the lead. Now coming up to the spine. A little bit too close to the right, far too close to the ground. Oh, he's rolled it on the floor. The Ice Cheetah has passed him, but a good recovery from Yayu and recovered in the tunnel. Quite often, and this may have been what happened with Hyper earlier on, when you make a crash in a tight obstacle like that, you might not know which part you've missed, or had you missed any of it at all. Sometimes you have to go back and complete the whole thing just to be sure. Yayu there managed to recover it very well in the arches, so he hangs on to second place behind his teammate, the Ice Cheetah, but he's hit the top there. Ooh. Yayu perhaps a little bit rattled by what went on earlier. The Ice Cheetah is here, now heading into the spine on lap number 2, ahead of his teammate and everybody else. Through the dive gate, Yayu follows him into there now, but Yayu will not just see his teammate, he'll see Ion gaining on him in third as he just made that 180-degree turn. That gives him something else to worry about as they go on to the final lap. Here's the corkscrew now, the Ice Cheetah. He's flying that nicely. Yayu also in second. The Ice Cheetah into the split S, hits the middle part there. He's bounced off the bottom of it. He's gone through. Oh no! It's getting a little bit undone for the two pilots. Yayu now back in the lead. It seems that whenever one of them makes a mistake, their teammate is there ready in support to take the lead from them. It's working out very well for this team. They were the best of the teams who started in the DCL in 2023. Then they started 2024 as the Split 1 champions. And for Split 2, they're getting a 1-2 in their first race. There's Ion FPV in third, and Hosu will complete his first race for China Dragons in the DCL with a good showing from him, but a little bit too far behind. I think you can be pretty proud of that performance though for your first race, and Cyclone will be thrilled, getting 7 points to 3 out of it. Yayu with another win on his record, and he's had many of them in the DCL. Watch the first gate. There's Hosu hitting that. Ion hit second. And that's on first lap, and they never featured in first or second place at any point after that, despite all the chances that they may have had from Cyclone, who weren't making it too tidy for themselves either. A 1-2 for Cyclone. Can Neon and J-Box do the same when they take on Zepita and Gabri in race number 2? So, Zepita back for China Dragons, Gabri alongside him in orange. Neon was formerly known as Fluorescent, who was formerly known as Neon. So he's back and shining, however he calls himself, for Cyclone in the lead. No problems with that very fast 180-degree change and the ladder afterwards. Here's Zepita's view, who's in second for China Dragons. Ooh, having a little bit of an issue around the boathouse, which has given J-Box for Cyclone the chance to move up and take second from him. So Neon leads them all towards the dive gate. J-Box in second. Neon, did you just bump near a wall? That got a little bit close. Now he comes around for his second lap. Here's J-Box chasing him towards the water. Big pre-turn. Oh! Hit the first gate but went through it. So he's still in a fight with Zepita for second rather than bouncing off of that gate and ending up out of the racing completely. Neon still out in front. Zepita up into second. J-Box just letting him by, but he chased him down before. This is Zepita's view from second place. Neon is already a long way down the spine. Zepita flying well for China Dragons. Neon flying very well for Cyclone. He's on to the third and final lap. J-Box managing to get past Zepita again. They'll head down to the third lap now, really close to each other, while Neon is getting away from the pair of them. He's already been through the second set of obstacles. J-Box and Zepita battling in there. Here's Neon now as he heads back to the land through the goalposts, and with plenty of clean air between him and the scrap for second. Neon back along the spine. This is Zepita still fighting with J-Box. Underneath J-Box into the tunnel. J-Box just ahead of him. J-Box now towards the castle. Zepita trying to chase him down. Zepita doing some great battling and some great flying. Goes past J-Box. Gets him on the final areas. It's J-Box in third. It's Zepita for China Dragons getting second. The winner was Neon. Fourth place is Gabri. It's stripes between Cyclone and China Dragons for the places. Wow, only 3/10 between Zepita and J-Box at the end. But this pilot Neon, 7 seconds ahead of the pair of them. A big win for him. What a great pickup for Cyclone he's been. Far, far ahead. Can he do it again in the big heats? Everybody else in the race as well. Now China Dragons 6 points behind Cyclone Racing after those first two, but there are 10 points available for the top 4 pilots in the big heat. So China Dragons need to really get involved with those top 4 and leave the purple drones out of it. This is exactly what they don't want to see. Neon's in the lead. Yayu is in second, and they're flying very nicely and battling through the obstacles as they complete the water and the boathouse and go back to the land. There's Neon going through the goalpost with no problem at all, and he's into the tunnel, 4, 5, 6. And now heading up towards the castle. Good flying from Neon again. There's a moment when you do get to see how close the pilots are behind you. That's where he may have got a little scare about Ion earlier. But he's very nicely flying here, knowing that Neon is in front of him. Teammates in third and fourth. Ion into the water. Hit the first Foxeer gate really hard. Still in Lake Zurich. And he's maybe the most experienced pilot of the roster for China Dragons. So that is not what they need. Yayu and Neon having a really good battle between them, their teammates, but everybody wants the win on their record. Now Yayu leads them around the castle this time. Oh, that was close to that pylon. He's not giving himself much room to spare. Heading down for lap number 3. We're on board with Neon. This battle between these two, this is well worth the watch. Look how good Neon is doing the corkscrew. Oh, maybe a little bit closer than he wanted to be. He really doesn't need to fly this riskily when he's doing so well and he's got teammates in all of the other scoring positions. Oh, but they really want to beat each other, don't they? Into the goalposts. Yayu, Neon, they're both flying so tight. I bet they've got massive smiles on their faces right now, enjoying this and knowing that this is a battle that both want to win, but also the team have got this in hand. Here they come. It is Yayu, then Neon. J-Box in third, the Ice Cheetah in fourth. China Dragons had to get the lion's share of the scoring. Instead, it is all purple and all Cyclones. Zipita was the first of them to finish. There's Hosu, a really good finish for him. It is Ion and then Gabri who come in afterwards. So well done to Zipita and Hosu for leading their team to the finish. But Cyclone were far ahead of all of them. Yayu gets another win. Cyclone get a big heat clean sweep. Even with the racing having a few scrapes along the way. What a battle, but mostly between Cyclone Racing. Clear winners of this heat and this whole matchup. 23 points to 7, just one short of the maximum score you can get. The maximum score is 24-6, which is exactly what Spain Drone Team got when they faced the DCL Wildcard team, also on race day 1. The big win over them. So how does that work out for the standings? Well, STT with the biggest win margin put themselves on top. Then it's Cyclone and Raiden, and Mach 1 are on a bye week, so we'll see the all-women's racing team when they have their first go on race day 2. They'll be up against Cyclone. Quad Force 1 will want to get a big win, Wildcard team don't want to be swept again, Raiden and China Dragons could be a lot closer. Make sure you join us for all of the action. I'm Matt Andrews, we'll see you in the skies!